Let's talk about something that tells a fascinating story about your health with every single beat of your heart. Yep, we're diving into blood pressure. You've totally been there, right? The doctor wraps that cuff around your arm, it gets really tight, and you just watch the numbers jump around. But what are they actually measuring? What's the story behind those numbers? Well, by the end of this, you'll know exactly what's going on. So to figure out what they're measuring, we need to start with the most basic question of all. What even is blood pressure? Okay, in the simplest terms, blood pressure is just the force of your blood pushing against the inside walls of your arteries. Imagine water flowing through a garden hose. You know that outward push it makes on the hose? It's just like that. And what's creating all this force? Your heart, of course. It's the engine. With every single beat, it gives a powerful squeeze and sends a wave of blood surging through your arteries. It's not a gentle little stream. It's a dynamic pulse of force that travels through your whole body. But here's where it gets really interesting. Each heartbeat isn't just one single event. It's a two-part cycle. And that is exactly why your blood pressure reading always has two numbers. Let's meet the two stars of this story, systolic and diastolic pressure. The easiest way to remember them is to think of systolic as the action phase. That's when the heart is squeezing and pushing. Diastolic, on the other hand, is the resting phase, when the heart kind of chills out to refill for the next big push. So systolic pressure is the peak force. It's the highest the pressure gets during a heartbeat. This happens at the exact moment your heart's powerful lower chambers, the ventricles, contract and forcefully shove blood out into your arteries. It's the big push. For a healthy young adult, this peak pressure is normally right around 120 millimeters of mercury. And that's the top number you always hear in a blood pressure reading. Now, after that big push, there's a moment of rest. And that's where diastolic pressure comes in. It's the lowest point of pressure in your arteries. We measure it when the ventricles relax and refill with blood, just getting ready for the next beat. For that same healthy person, the normal diastolic pressure is about 80 millimeters of mercury. This, of course, is your bottom number. And that's how we get that classic reading 120/80. So when a doctor tells you your blood pressure, you're not just hearing two numbers. You're hearing a quick story of your heart in action and at rest. Okay, so we know what the numbers mean, but how do doctors actually capture them? This takes us right back to our original question, and that arm-squeezing cuff. Doctors use a device with a really long name, the Sphygmomanometer. Yeah, it's a mouthful. We just know it as the cuff and pump. They put it on your upper arm because the artery there is at about the same level as your heart, which gives a really accurate reading of the pressure it's generating. So let me ask you this. If your blood pressure is 120/80, does that mean it's just stuck at 120/80 all day long? No way. Your blood pressure is actually super dynamic. It's constantly changing based on what your body needs. It's lowest when you're resting. It goes up when you walk, and it climbs even higher when you're running or even just feeling stressed. It's your body's smart way of making sure the right amount of blood gets exactly where it needs to go. So if blood pressure is supposed to change, when does it become a problem? This is where we need to talk about a very important condition called hypertension. It is totally normal for your blood pressure to be high when you're exercising, but hypertension is different. It's a condition where your blood pressure stays high even when you're resting. That's the huge difference. So why is that a big deal? Well, having constantly high pressure puts a ton of strain on your artery walls and your vital organs, like your heart and kidneys. It's like running your car's engine in the red zone all the time. Eventually, that causes some serious wear and tear. Okay, let's do a super quick recap of the most important points. If you're studying for an exam or just want the key facts to stick in your brain, this is for you. First up, the big one. What is blood pressure? The perfect simple answer is this. It's the pressure exerted by blood on the walls of the blood vessels. Clean, simple, and exactly what you need to know. Next, those two key numbers. What are systolic and diastolic pressures? Here's the side-by-side. Systolic is the higher pressure when the ventricles contract. Think S for squeeze. Diastolic is the lower pressure when the ventricles relax. Think D for downtime. And finally, that important medical term. What is hypertension? The key phrase to remember is during the resting period. Hypertension is when you have high blood pressure, even when your body is supposed to be relaxed. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Those two numbers, systolic and diastolic, are so much more than just a measurement. They tell a story. And as this says so well, blood pressure is a vital indicator of our heart's strength and our blood flow. Understanding that story is a huge step in understanding how your own body works. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.